Brilliance Audio presents Clarity First: How Smart Leaders and Organizations Achieve Outstanding Performance by Karen Martin, performed by the author. Clarity. It's a simple concept and yet strikingly elusive. Lack of clarity collectively costs companies, educational institutions, government agencies, and non-governmental organizations billions of dollars per year, inserts unnecessary risk into every decision or action, drains organizations of the energy needed for productive effort, and causes customers to question whether the organization is capable of delivering value. I've been studying clarity for close to 3 decades. I spent my early career as a clinical scientist, which provided a ripe canvas from which to develop keen investigation and pattern detection skills. Several years later, I transitioned from clinical diagnoses to building and managing rapid growth business operations, using my diagnostic skills to create high-performance work environments. Eventually, I found my way into consulting and built a team, which I refer to as we in this book. The dominant diagnoses we make in our consulting work directly relate to the presence or absence of clarity. High degrees of clarity create high-performing organizations. Low clarity drags organizations into an abyss of poor performance with frustrated leaders, disengaged employees, dissatisfied customers, and disappointed shareholders. This pattern was so common that I dedicated a chapter to clarity in my earlier book, The Outstanding Organization. From the moment it was released, I began receiving notes from readers about clarity, and to this day, that chapter receives far more attention, generates more questions, and evokes more emotion than any of the others. One of the more memorable notes came from a mid-career engineering manager who worked for one of our clients. He was a stiff upper lip kind of man and even keeled during problem-solving efforts that sparked disagreements among the leadership team. He didn't tend to show much emotion, yet in his email he wrote, "I'll admit, I actually cried when I read your chapter on clarity and realized how much the lack of clarity is dragging me and our organization down. Thank you for offering tangible solutions to reduce our pain." Shortly after that, a book reviewer heralded clarity as the IT leadership skill. In the years since The Outstanding Organization was published, I have seen firsthand that a lack of clarity is responsible for far more organizational chaos than I had originally observed, more so than any of the other 3 conditions I addressed in that book: discipline, focus, and engagement. Based on reader and reviewer responses, as well as our continued work with organizations, I knew I had to dedicate an entire book to clarity. Despite its contribution to chaos, ambiguity is often tacitly rewarded. We have witnessed firsthand as leaders issue unclear proclamations and requests that team members are reluctant to clarify out of fear that they will receive that look or they will miss a deadline and be punished for it. We've seen people get fired or sidelined for revealing problems. We've been called in to help an organization develop problem-solving capabilities only to find that its cultural values reward people for leaving important questions unanswered. Lest you think the examples in this book represent a skewed sample of negative outliers who sought help because they needed it, let me be clear. We have worked with hundreds of organizations in nearly every industry and functional work area. These organizations make products that save lives, keep the power on, or help businesses do whatever they do faster, better, and less expensively. They are healthcare organizations, financial institutions, energy utilities, and technology firms. This problem doesn't exist solely in private sector businesses. We see this fog in social service agencies, religious institutions, academia, law enforcement, and government, especially government. They deliver professional services and provide transportation. They move dirt, keep planes in the air, and give us drinkable milk. These organizations are like yours. And perhaps like yours, a pervasive fog of ambiguity plays out in the form of market share loss, missed targets, productivity dips, creeping expenses, poor customer service, interpersonal and interdepartmental tension, and employee disengagement and turnover. Nearly every organization we have worked with was initially blind to the lack of clarity with which it was operating and unaware of the pivotal role that ambiguity played in its inability to achieve the goals it set for itself to meet marketplace demands and provide breakthrough products. The good news is that modern management methods offer powerful clarity-enabling practices that can turn the tide. In particular, lean management principles, practices, and tools serve organizations by surfacing hidden issues and enabling clarity. We draw heavily from lean management in our consulting work, and some of the methods that appear in the following chapters come straight from the Lean Playbook. But this is not a book about lean. It is a book about clarity, why you need it, why you don't have it, and what you can do to get it. Clarity-driven management enables your organization to reach a level of performance well beyond what you've experienced, while creating a work environment that attracts and retains top talent. Let's begin.